and welcome to JB Classical. It has been a month, I believe, almost a month by the time this goes out, since the last video was put up on the channel, the New Year's Day special. Already a month into the new year. That's rather shock past for me. I don't know about you. Please forgive my hair. I'm upstairs, my hairbrush is downstairs, so I forgot to bring it up and sort out my hair and everything, and before I put my face in front of the camera. So do forgive my slightly bedraggled appearance today, this time on the channel. So as usual, I've been thinking, what can I cover? Who can I cover? What would my friends like to see and hear? Always painfully aware that I think the vast majority of you, from looking at my analytics and my viewing figures over the last year or more's worth of videos, would love to see endless opera, endless opera greats singing, and I'm with you on that one. I could happily do that. It could just be an opera channel, but I love other things as well, aside from just opera, or only opera, I should say. So I do try to mix it up a bit, even though some of the viewing figures are rather low on some of the other classical music pieces of classical music that I cover on the channel. But anyway, I thought, forget this time. I thought, it's the end of January, a bit of a hard month for all of us. Cold, wet, windy. Certainly here. I don't know about where you are in the world, or if in the UK, in the country, but certainly here in Wales, it's as usual, dark, windy, cold, wet, and nothing's happening. Absolutely nothing's going on. It's the place is dead because anyway. I thought, let's all just enjoy a bit of opera. A great singer, someone I think most of us really love. I know, following my previous video about this singer, who was being talked about by another great singer, Mr. Pavarotti, a lot of you left comments making it very clear that you would like a lot more content and videos on tonight's subject, the great Franco Corelli. Personally, my favourite tenor, I think. Again, I know for many of you as well. And obviously for Mr. Pavarotti, seems to be his favourite, along with Caruso. Quite rightly so. So, that's me yabbing for nearly 4 minutes. We're going to watch and enjoy Franco singing E Luce Vanno Stelle from Tosca. It's from the final act, it's from the third act. This is what Cavaradossi, who is playing in the opera, sings just before he's about to be shot at dawn, basically. Although he thinks in the opera, Floria Tosca, his girlfriend, who by this point has murdered the chief of police, Scarpia, who sings her extremely famous and well-known aria, Visidate. Scarpia's killed. She takes an order that he was completing at the time, or mostly completed before she killed him, to say that basically tell the firing squad, or the chap in charge of the firing squad, that Cavaradossi is actually to be let free after they pretend to shoot him. Use blanks instead of bullets, that sort of thing. Give the appearance of it. So this is what Floria Tosca thinks she now has. The order. So now in the final scene, in the final act, Act 3. This is at the beginning, where Cavaradossi is singing this aria. And anyway, after this, she comes along and she tells him it's okay. They're only going to pretend to kill you, but act as if you've been shot. Act as if you're dying and dead when they shoot. But of course, the trick's on them. Scarpia didn't actually change the orders. It's the death sentence unchanged, basically, which the captain reads, and they're real bullets. So the joke, unfortunately, is on Tosca and Cavaradossi at the end of the opera. So this is what he sings just before that happens, basically, at the start of the third act. So yes, Franco Corelli singing this. Let's enjoy. Not very long, only 2.5 minutes of that. Quite a short aria. Classic, well known. I hope you enjoy it. 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Franco.
La fragrante mi cadea fra le braccia. Oh, dolci baci languide
Great. Short, sweet, fantastic. I'm trying to think when I first heard Franco Corelli singing. I think I must have been about 15, 14, no, about 15. And I think it was possibly one of the first opera CDs that I accidentally happened upon and bought at a place that we used to have in the UK called Woolworths. We used to have a CD sort of basket full of broken CDs with broken cases and things, and you could buy them for a fraction of the usual price. No notes or anything. No, nothing. No sort of booklet to explain any of it really. It was just the CD. And I remember, I think it was either Spirito Gentile or Una Furtiva Lagrima, I think, that I heard him singing, and yeah, blown away, absolutely blown away, because there are other arias from other tenors on there from around the same 50s, 60s, post the 78 period, 78 something. Although I then got to know many of them. Franco Corelli, very interesting. He didn't come from a musical family. I think his dad was something like a captain or a navigator or something like that. To do with shipping and commercial sort of stuff like that. I think some on the Adriatic. I think he was from a town on the Adriatic coast originally. Again, this is off the top of my head. I think he was born in the 30s perhaps, and obviously was rocketed to international fame during the 50s and 60s, where it sort of, and then right through to the mid 70s. And I think he went in the sort of semi or full retirement really from the opera stage, but he still gave concerts around the world. You can find quite a few clips on YouTube of him singing. Of course, he sang with the great Callas, of course. Obviously, quite regular at La Scala, at the Met in New York, here in London, Covent Garden. The places you'd expect. And the usual sort of repertoire you'd expect, Verdi and obviously Puccini and others, particularly with the kind of voice he had, suited and famed and hired to play the heroic tenor roles, which of course he had the perfect voice for. When I think of his voice, the way he sort of seemingly, of course it's not effortless, is it? But seemingly effortlessly sort of motors through right to the top there, as we saw there, or heard there. I always think of him as the sort of the Ferrari V8 of the opera world. Not the big V12s really, because it's just sort of so it's powerful, but it's smooth as well. It's powerful and smooth and has a very pleasant top end. Lovely top end. Not so much growling and just pure power. It's got a bit of finesse to it, doesn't it? It's not a Lamborghini V12. So I don't know. I'm giving you Italian car analogies, or maybe if you ever heard of the engine sound of a Pagani Zonda S or F, the older ones, some of the original ones, very much like that. Very sort of powerful, but with a bit of class, and just sort of gear change, quite smoothly and lovely. So sorry, I don't know. If you're wondering what's he talking about, I apologise. That's my analogy that works in my mind anyway. So that was Franco. That was short and sweet. I know I will be coming back to Franco. I will be coming back to some of the singers he and Pavarotti, of course, cite quite a lot if you read interviews and again watch some of the interviews of Pavarotti when he was still around. I think I did along with Pavarotti. If you look back in my videos, Pavarotti talking about Franco as a direct influence to him, an inspiration, but also from the earlier tenors, Beniamino Gigli. I know Franco, because Franco went to go the usual route of getting voice training and training in Italy as a young man, in Rossini's hometown, I've forgotten the name of, but it didn't work out. it didn't work out, and he gave up basically. He didn't think it was going to happen, and then sometime later he decided that he'd try and train himself, teach himself to sing. I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but apparently what he did was he went to the source, the core material. He went to the recordings and listened closely to the recordings of Gilli, Caruso, and all of those people, Larry Volpe, and all of that. So I'll cover some of those as well. Won't be the best sound quality because, of course, we're talking about the the 20s and 30s, the time of the 78s, which of course aren't the greatest for sound quality, but it gives us some idea, I suppose, of what Franco and Luciano were sort of listening to as young men in their houses, on their dad's record players, as most of us have, didn't we, when we were a bit younger, when they still had things called record players. Remember those? And although, funny, I've sort of heard today in the UK, sales of vinyl, of actual records, have now exceeded sales of CDs. So that's come back. I don't think in the classical music sphere particularly, but particularly sort of reissues of Beatles albums and classic sort of rock albums, rock and roll and things like that, and pop and stuff. Certainly have for companies like EMI, etc. So it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to have a bit of a resurgence in the old classical music album vinyl reissue world, wouldn't it? Where you get the record players from, I don't quite know. I don't know where you buy a record player these days if you wanted one. I'd like one, I suppose. Let's have a look into that. But yes, we will return to Franco. We'll return to the previous generation of singers. I know quite a few of you asked me to cover I can't remember. I've gone back. It's late in the day. I've gone blank. Who have you asked me to cover or make some videos about? Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to get back. I'll get back to you on the next one. That one. Which I was going to say I'm going to do that if I can remember who it was. But next time we're going to switch from opera to some concerto music, Mozart, because I love Mozart. I think most of us do again, if we're moving away from opera for a minute. Mozart, probably a piano concerto or a movement or two, maybe even one of the violin concertos, maybe the third or the fifth, which of course are extremely popular, very good, lots of fun. Or possibly the beginning of the Requiem again, which is very popular. But for now, I hope you enjoyed that. It might be another month, so please have a lovely February. If you can, I hope you stay safe, stay well, and ciao for now.